The next presentation is East West Petroleum, and Marc Bustin, a director of the company, is here to present. And the effort of full disclosure, I would like you to know that I have been a shareholder of this company. I don't know for a fact whether I am today or not, but I believe I am, because Marin Katusa, who runs a private fund for Casey Research, I'm an investor in that fund, and they have over time been a major investor in East West Petroleum. That has nothing to do with why he's here today. I don't even control that fund. I just wanted to make sure that that was disclosed. Please welcome Marc. How are you?
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, today I'd like to give you an update on East West Petroleum, and to those of you who are shareholders, it'll be an update, and if you don't know East West Petroleum, it's my pleasure to introduce you to the company today. The normal stuff, which I'll give you a quick 30 seconds to read. First of all, a little bit of background on the company. The company was founded by David Sadu, who's our chairman and president, and he's with us today and will be out in the booth and to tell you some more about the company and answer some of your questions. We also have with us today Chris Belkins, who's our corporate development manager. Good history in the investment community, and joined us a little while ago and is doing an excellent job for us. Myself, I'm the director. A picture always goes over better than mine. That's how I recruit students at the university. So I'm a professor at the University of British Columbia and a director, and provide some intellectual guidance, and I help manage the exploration for East West Petroleum. East West Petroleum has assets in 6 different countries. The ones in red, Romania and New Zealand, are the ones I'd like to talk to you today. They're the furthest ahead in terms of development. And I'd like to start by giving you a little bit of corporate overview. Obviously, we're a Canadian-based junior company. We trade on the Toronto Stock Exchange, the Venture Exchange. Our trading symbol is EW, spelled EW. We're focused on international oil and gas opportunities, although we do have some small production in Alberta. Our first production was achieved late last year, and we're currently producing a net to us about 250 barrels of oil per day. We're well funded to fund our capital exploration program. We're well funded for that through our cash flow and our cash in hand. I'll go through the New Zealand assets for you very quickly, then I'll follow up and tell you something about Romania. Just a little bit of our capital structures on the right-hand side there. You can look at this at your leisure, and of course it's in our full brochure that's available at our site. So in New Zealand, we partnered up with TAG Oil in 2012, and we bid on 3 blocks, and we were successful on 3 blocks. These blocks are in the Taranaki area of the North Island, New Zealand. It's in the oil fairway. There's lots of production around us, and of course there's production now within 2 of our blocks as well. The east side in particular has been very successful. It's an area where we have infrastructure in place, and we were very quickly able to get the production online and out for sales. The oil is an excellent quality oil. It has some special properties due to its paraffin content, so it's actually a premium on the price of the oil, and the net back on the oil is $80 to $90 a barrel at current prices. So it's a pretty good situation. This summarizes our 2013-14 exploration program. As you can see, we drilled 9 wells, and you can see the distribution of the blocks. Our interest, East-West interest, is summarized there, 30% on 1 of the blocks, 50% on the other 2. On the E block, we've now flow tested some of the wells. The 3 of the wells are on production and have been on production for some time and producing excellently. 2 wells are still undergoing further testing. The testing is a little bit limited by surface facilities, so we have to take turns testing the wells. On the second block, the G1 well, it's pending. It had flowed oil and gas to the surface, and we're just pending some service equipment in order to fully test it and hopefully bring it online. And we drilled 3 wells that we think are uneconomic. So overall, we had a very successful drilling campaign late last year and this year. So the total production from the east side is currently about 840 barrels a day. Net to us, as I mentioned, is about 240 barrels. Two of the wells are producing under choke, which means they could produce at a higher rate if we so chose to, and the reason we don't choose to is because of the limitation of the surface facilities, which we're continuing to develop. The E2 and E3 wells, as I mentioned, their shut-in well testing is ongoing. They certainly have hydrocarbons in them, and we have to determine what rates and how to complete the wells appropriately. And I mentioned the G1 well float hydrocarbons to the surface, and with appropriate completions, we anticipate it also will be a successful well. New Zealand's an excellent place to work because of the tax structure and because of the way they actually structure the bid rounds and allow you to do some work, and if you're unsuccessful and want to walk away from the prospects, you can. And on the right-hand side, I quickly summarize the cost per wells, the IP rates. This is the ones we based our economics on. In actual fact, two of our wells came on at significantly higher than this. So it's a very economically favorable place to work. Oops, I got to push the right button here, I guess, to move on. We recently acquired some acreage on the East Coast, 100,000 acres. It's a little speculative at this time, but we believe there's unconventional and conventional production there as well, and it's something we'll be pursuing with our partner TAG with some seismic reprocessing coming up. In Romania, we have 4 blocks, about 1 million net acres that were awarded in 2010. In 2011, we did a deal with Niche, which is a Serbian company. It's a mid-sized company, so it's a fairly large company. And they have aspirations in order to be in the upstream and downstream markets in Romania. And the deal we did with them is we farmed out to them 85% of our concessions, and we're carried through to commerciality, meaning we don't have to pay any money until it's commercial as declared by the Romanian government. The total value of the farm out or farm in by them is about 60 million euros to date. And if we're successful and go to phase 2, it'll be about another equal $60 million. So it's a very favorable arrangement for us. The blocks are within an oil and gas trend. There are areas within our blocks which are produced traditionally. And Romania is like much of Eastern Europe. It was explored by 2D seismic. Most of the big structures were found, and now we're going through a round of 3D seismic in order to find some of the smaller targets. And that effectively where our program is to date. And this diagram here summarizes the flow chart of where we're at with our drilling program and our seismic program. In particular in Romania, currently we're doing 3D seismic. We've done some, and it's being evaluated. And we anticipate drilling there later this year or early next year with our partner. And here's our drilling program. All right, so I got all zeros up here for time. Here's our contact information. Please take some time and visit us in our booth. We'll all be there to answer your questions and tell you what we think the future of our company is. Thank you very much.